We're back here on the show. John Pollock with you on the MMA Report, getting set for UFC 210. It is coming up Saturday night from Buffalo, New York, as Daniel Cormier will be defending the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship against the man who joins us now, Anthony Rumble Johnson, who is in Buffalo. We are just a few days out from the fight. And at this point, Anthony, I mean, this rematch was first announced at the beginning of October. Here we are 6 months later. Are you at the point now where you just want to get into the cage and you're ready to fight at this point, or are you relaxed going into this? Has this been the plan all along?
I'm very relaxed, but I do want to fight. You know, it's been a long time coming. It seems like we've been training for each other forever. You know what I mean? So it's a big relief to finally being able to go in there and just have some fun. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's one thing when you guys have the tickets going on sale and you're doing all of the media together, but then this past week, I mean, they're throwing you guys out there on ESPN and you've got to be together. I mean, come fight week, is that somewhat of an issue? Is that problematic? Because I can't imagine too many fighters that, especially fight week, want to be doing media with their opponent.
It doesn't bother me at all because I don't have to hate them or try and beat them up until we actually get in the cage, you know. From weigh-in till after the fight, we don't have to like each other. You know what I mean? So I'm not worried about anything until, you know, weigh-in and then till we fight. Other than that, I'm cool, I'm calm, and just I'm always be polite and respectful and humble as I can be.
You are the most laid-back guy, I feel, in these situations. I mean, in high-pressure situations, fight week, I mean, you're a guy that just seems to be very grounded in what is going to happen, and you don't get caught up in the dramatics or any of that. Has that always been the case for you? Have you been able to always have that ability, or is that something that's evolved throughout your career?
I've always had it, but I haven't always displayed it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, when I was younger, I was a little hot-headed, and like most of us growing up, you know, as like young men, you know what I mean? Somebody say something, you fire back at them, you know, saying something twice as crazy as whatever they said. But just growing up and maturing and experiencing life more and things like that, getting smarter as I get older, you know, I'm like, dude, I'm too old to be doing this talking stuff. You know what I mean? Let's just get to it instead of, you know, yapping all the time. So I get it, you know, it's promotion and if, you know, people try and get in each other's head and stuff like that. But I ain't got time for all of that because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You know
right.
what I mean, you can't predict the future.
Are there ever situations where you have to bite your tongue? Because you're in an industry where it very much rewards those that are loud, that do scream at the top of their lungs. Do you ever find yourself conflicted, or is this something that for you, it's like you understand what you have to do? Your job is to get into the cage, and that isn't as big of an issue as it is maybe for others.
I mean, I understand my job, but don't get me wrong. Sometimes it costs my mind to be a bad boy and slap some sense into some people. You know what I mean? That's just, I'm still an alpha male. You know what I'm saying? But I know how to keep that animal caged in. You know what I'm saying? Locked up until he needs to be released. So I mean, sometimes, you know, I get ready to say stuff, but then some other times, you know. Most of the time, I just know I need to just shut my mouth and just let it all soak in. And whoever my opponent is, just make sure they regret what they say after they fight me.
When this fight originally, the rematch was to be taken up here in Toronto, and tremendous ticket sales for that event. And it sounds like a very strong amount of tickets that have been sold for this card. I mean, that's got to be a sense of pride for you. This is a fight that a lot of people want to see, involving two of the biggest, if not the biggest, light heavyweights in the entire industry.
Yeah, I'm glad that the people want to see this fight. You know, we did miss out on 206. That card in Toronto turned out to be amazing. Mm-hmm. Even I kind of doubted the card, you know, just looking at it on paper. But being there at that event and witnessing those fights, man, it was absolutely amazing. And I apologize to the fans for us not having the fight. But here's an opportunity for them to get to see us fight now again. So we're going to make do of, you know, what those fans should have saw in December at 206. You know, so they won't be disappointed at all.
As the challenger in that equation, when the 206 fight fell apart, were there ever those moments with you where, I mean, were you paying extra attention to the John Jones case and wondering, man, are they going to swerve me here? Am I going to lose out on my title shot? I mean, what was that period like in between for you before the rematch was solidified for Buffalo?
Well, a lot of people kept putting it in my ear, trying to say, "Oh, they're gonna, screw you over and let John come back, and he's gonna get a shot at DC before you do." You know what? The whole time I was like, I doubt it, but if it happens, it happens. We'll handle it whenever that situation happens, if it happens that way. You know what I mean? So I really didn't stress about it at all, because nothing had been signed by anybody yet. You know what I'm saying? Nothing had been discussed. So I wasn't getting my hopes high for anything. I was just waiting to see what happens.
When you look at just the state of everything with your camp, and now it seems it's on solid ground, working under Henry Hooft, tell us a bit about what the vibe is like at the Combat Club. We spotted in the Countdown show Robbie Lawler working with you as well. Are things on stable ground now? Because it seemed like no fighter wants to go through all these gym issues. Is it all kind of rectified now?
Everything was stable with me. I still have my coaches, my original coaches. I go to both gyms. I go to CSMMA, train with Neil Melanson, and I go to Combat Club and train with Henry and my guys over there. So it's just, half the team is with Neil and half the team is with Henry. That's just what it is. I still love both guys. I still love my team, my teammates, and I'm not going to let whatever issue there was get in between me and my training and winning the world title. So I said, screw that. This is my career. This is my life. I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure it works out. And that's what I did, So I don't play into the politics and whatnot. I do me.
Did you work a lot with Robbie Lawler in this camp, or has he just recently started working there?
No, I didn't work out a lot with him. Robbie's a smaller guy, but I train with smaller guys too. I just finally had an opportunity just to play around with him the other day before I came to Buffalo. So, Robbie's a good guy. The same guy you see on TV as far as like being quiet and stuff is the same guy that's in the gym training with us. He doesn't say much. He trains and keeps to himself, and that's just what it is. So, the vibes are good though at the gyms.
When you look at Saturday, I mean, this really is the biggest fight of your career. Do you go into something viewing it as such, or do you feel it's just winning a lot of small battles that ultimately wins the big one, and that's the case for every fight for you? How do you look at a championship opportunity where this is life-changing with a victory on Saturday night?
Yeah, I try not to think about it too much, I know I put in a lot of hard work throughout the years and stuff to get where I am again. So, a lot of little victories will lead up to a big victory for me. So, once again, whatever happens is going to happen, The book is already written, so I'm just ready to see what happens in this next chapter.
The final question here, I mean, you've been around Daniel for so much with the media, and just, as I said, it's been 6 months since this rematch was first announced. He comes across, he's very confident. He feels it's going to be a replication of the first fight. Do you feel he's in a position where he should be that confident, or do you sense that it borders around cocky, that you are going to knock him off this perch? Do you sense any of that from Daniel's demeanor, or do you not read into that stuff?
I don't read into that stuff. I'm glad he's confident, because if he wasn't confident, I wouldn't want to fight him. I wouldn't be motivated. So I'm glad he's confident. That's good. That's going to make for a great fight. So, and when I win, it's going to make the victory that much more sweeter.
Well, we're very much looking forward to this fight. It's going down Saturday night, the main event of UFC 210, 10 p.m. Eastern time on pay-per-view, and it's going to be taking place in a much colder environment, Anthony, than I imagine Florida is this time of year.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm used to 85 to 90 degree weather, man, with 90% humidity, man. Right now, everything's shriveled up right now.
Warmer days are ahead for one Anthony Rumble Johnson. Looking forward to the fight, Anthony, and thank you very much for this time. Appreciate it.
Thank you, boss.